So, friends, we were just about to start our very interesting webinar on Agribid. By all means, a very interesting company for all of us to understand, and you're in for some kind of a very interesting, positive surprise, is what we can very easily and safely speak about. So we have the founding team member, part of the core founding team member, Mr. Manoj here on this webinar. We also have, a man who needs no introduction, Mr. Vivek Oberoi here for this. Just before we start, I'll just take a quick 1 minute to set the tone. This webinar is for the agrotech company Agribid. Most of you would have got all the primary details about this company already. The remaining one is something which will be covered in this webinar. Finwall as an entity is known to most of you now, but still as a quick recap, this is a B2B platform on which we showcase some interesting startup ideas periodically. And if there are any questions around the minimum ticket size or how to invest and everything, that you can address via your respective wealth managers if there are investors here. Vivek, just for your information, we have a mix of investors and their wealth managers all put together on this call today. So it's a mix of all. And I think very briefly, this is all that I wanted to speak. I hand over to Vivek for the opening remarks for this particular interesting idea, Agribid. When I referred the positive surprise, a lot of this, not everyone, but a lot of this audience would know Vivek more as a Bollywood personality. But by end of this call, I can assure you, most of you, if not all, will see him as one of the biggest startup enthusiasts, and somebody who will speak numbers the way freely he will speak his dialogues. He's very hands-on, is something which you will all realize. Right. So over to you, Vivek, for the intro part, and then we will. And in the meantime, Ashutosh is struggling to join, so I will set up that as well in the meantime. So over to you, Vivek, for the quick introduction of of Agribid and the macro view and all. The floor is all yours, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction and very generous introduction. Thank you to everybody who's made it to this call. Thank you for coming in and listening about our wonderful little journey called Agribid. Just a few things to put perspective in. I've been creating social impact through philanthropy for the last 20 years. So scaling things have been something that I learned very early, whether it was rebuilding villages after the tsunami, with the right people, building the right team to create an effective execution of something like that, or building a team that was able to help 250,000 children suffering from cancer, farmers' children, poor children, migrant laborers' children. So things like that have been doing for a really long time. But realize that to create infinite scale, you need something to be self-sustaining and self-profitable. And that was the idea in my head, to be a co-founder for companies that have social impact for profit, but a purpose-driven company where profit is important, but the primary goal is creating the absolute impact. And what I learned was that the kind of growth these companies got was exponential. So this is the fourth company that I've co-founded. The earlier three two have already crossed $200 million in valuation in the last 4 years, less than 4 years, built from scratch. One of them has just finished a raise at $140 million valuation, and we'll cross that number again soon. So the value building multiple in this space is very exciting. And that's the point that I wanted to illustrate, because there is a huge amount of people who want to make money, at the same time feel good and feel that I've created a positive social impact. So what is Agribid? What is the landscape? And what are we doing here today? Well, if you take the journey of a simple farmer, and we've all seen this because it was in the national news, Delhi ko gher liya gaya tha. The PM was on one side with his farm reform vision, and the RTs and farmers were on the other side. So we saw a whole politicized aspect of it. But if you look at something very real, and for discovering this, it's not something that just I've heard and said. For discovering this, I've personally gone to mandis, right? I've personally gone and investigated this, and I'm just sharing this as a personal journey and experience. So what happens is with a farmer is he is, especially the marginal farmers, the ones who just have 1 acre, 2 acre, 3 acres of land, and these are the people that we work with. His journey is that today he has to go through the entire process of growing his crop. When it's harvest time, he has to invest in the harvest. He needs the cash flow to take the logistics to the mandi, right? The market center. The mandi still works very much like the old school British Raj, license Raj kind of cartels. Right? There's a very select group of people who control the pricing on the mandi. So once he reaches the mandi, that cost he is borne in terms of logistics, etc. Over and above that, mandi tax does not differentiate between marginal farmer and commercial farmer. So if a farmer is, got 500 acres, he pays the same tax as a farmer who's got 1 acre. Right? So that mandi tax averages, say in Maharashtra, is almost like 5 or 6%. So you got that mandi tax to pay. Now the brokers have a massive commission story, 6% officially. And this is without any transparency. So for example, if I was to sell a property to you, you would know how much I sold it to you for, I would know how much you bought it for, and then the broker would get 2%, 3%, 4% of that transaction value. But in this case, there's no transparency. Ek chitte pe aise likh dega, he'll scribble a note and he'll give it to you, right? And that's it. It's done on his notepad. So whether he's committing to you 10 rupees a kilo for your produce and selling it for 15 rupees a kilo also, the farmer never knows. So after additionally bearing this kind of 18 to 20% burden of additional costs, whether it's the mandi tax, brokerage fees, not even talking about the delta, the margin that he's losing in terms of the value that he had, but everything from the logistics of getting to the mandi to this process of the mandi. Now comes the second part, which is even more painful. That even after he has sold it for a subsidized amount, after he has sold it cheaper than what he should be getting, the farmer does not get paid completely on time. So now he gets into a process of the credit roll, where he keeps chasing the person, yaar mere paise de de, please pay me. He'll get 40%, then he'll get another 20, then he'll get another 20. And he'll pull it to the next season itself, next harvest season. The idea is to constantly keep the farmer in the debt trap. The idea is to constantly lend the farmer against his own money, against what he's actually due himself. So that has been a very successful idea for a lot of middlemen. What is Agribid? Agribid thought of it as a digital space, right? A physical meets digital space. A Amazon Web Services or AWS for agriculture. How do we make a marginal farmer meet a client directly? How do we consolidate? How do we remove all the logistical issues, the vetting issues, the verification of whether the quality of product, quantity of product? How do you make that seamless? And then how do you have buyers on the other end, which could range from huge traders, MNCs, to small SMEs that are using this as a input for their production, food parks, or smaller traders or government institutions, the price stabilization fund, public distribution systems. How do you create something that has enough volume that all of these can come in on either side, create absolute transparency, and in terms of our social impact story, not charge the farmer anything, not charge the farmer onboarding costs, not charge the farmer transaction fee. Make money only from the buyer, and that too very limited, nothing exponential. I mean, it goes from as low as 0.5% to as high as 6%, depending on how bespoke the services that you want for Agribid. And the good news is that we've closed this year with almost 1,000 crores of GMV. Now, if you look at any kind of a GMV multiple of 2 or 3, you should actually see the value of this company, growing exponentially in the next financial year. And I think we'll go to a GMV of between 3 to 5,000 crores in the next year itself. Because this year we were expecting a GMV, a gross merchandise value traded on our platform of less than 400 crores. We've already crossed 800, and we're on track to probably cross 1,000 crores by 23 March. Now, how have we done this? Is because what happened was we were able to consolidate farmers at a massive scale. We have today got 40 lakh farmers, right? And these farmers are all marginal farmers. Sab garib kisan. Everybody is a 1 acre, 2 acre, 3 acre farm. And in just 1.5 years, we've not only been able to build the tech, but been able to execute these transactions and benefit the farmers by 34%. So we've increased farmer income mark to mark by 34% in a single financial year, right? And that is by plugging all these leakages. We've already hit exports, and we've already been able to export farmers' produce from India outside, right? So the idea is, where are we going right now? We're on track this year to cross 1 crore farmers minimum. We'll probably cross more um, on our platform. Now, this becomes our entire output side. But what's also happening now is, when you look at the input side of things, when you look at seeds, when you look at fertilizers, agricultural implements, there's a very long chain. And what's happening in this chain is, it's a terrible kind of match fixing. And I am selling seeds that are probably 20-30% spurious. वो कभी फलने ही नहीं वाला. So the farmer is putting that much energy, his space, his farmland, his effort, his fertilizer, all his resources, all his energy into that, when he knows that the maximum he can gain out of this is the 70%, right? Now, this can become a serious political issue also, because people can get angry against a company saying कि भैया हमको नकली seed दिया. But this is where the seed companies, the fertilizer companies are worried. They're worried about leakages. They're worried about adulteration down the chain, and have already started negotiating with us in terms of input side. We've already started working with almost 1.5 million women farmers who are trying to be empowered through financially empowered through creating a organization that helps them to sell. So end to end digitization of these physical entities and organizations, bodies, is something that Agribid's already been doing successfully. After seeing this, there was an opportunity with World Health Organization. World Health Organization basically wanted to do something for apple farmers between Himachal and Jammu and Kashmir. There are about 19,000 orchards there. And they held a competition worldwide, of which out of almost 3,000 plus companies, our company Agribid won that. This was audited by, I think, PwC. And we won the bid, we won the competition. And now we are the only startup that is officially the World Bank's partner. And now the World Bank wants us to do so many things, whether it's from seed to market traceability of products to blockchain, or better linkages for farmers like this. Value add, how do you create certain value add stories? Say, you take a fruit, you make it into a preserve, you take it into a product. How do you create the value add and then also allow similar market linkages? So now you're only on the output side, but this year onwards, 2023 onwards, we'll be on the input side also. So you have the input side and output side. So you have the whole farming ecosystem. And this year alone, we'll have 1 crore farmers. Now, if I tell you is 1,57,000 offices for a startup, you'll be like, that's not possible. बड़े से बड़े MNC का नहीं होता यार 1,57,000 office. But we have them. We have 1,57,000 offices today as we speak. Well, theoretically. And the reason that we have that is Agribid basically decided, in a very smart bootstrapped model, the vision was not to reinvent the wheel. How do we go into something with our optimization model, right? Taking something that's unoptimized and optimize that, rather than trying to burn money or put money into, because this whole concept of just raising money and burning money for growth is something that none of us on the founding team resonate with. We just don't have that thought process in our minds. We are a little more pakka businessmen and like to see nafa. We'd like to see profit on the bottom line, And that's why we are a profitable company. Even though we're a small startup in its first year, we're already profitable, and we continue to be profitable despite growth next year also, exponential growth. And despite the fact that we are, not squeezing profit out of farmers, we're being extremely positive. We charge them nothing. So what's happening with this whole ecosystem now is, we went to DG Post and tied up exclusively as the only startup that has an exclusive relationship with India Post, where 157,000 post offices of India now become an extension of Agribid's e-Mandi program, right? So today there is a validation for the farmer. Postman bhi kya hai, wo kisan ka beta hai. He actually knows the people around there. He's lived in the village for a really long time. He knows who lives where the land is, whether the physical aspect and the paper aspect of things are matching in terms of records, data. So the kind of database that we're building with physical verification through the post system, and that too on a revenue share system. This is something that's revolutionary. And fortunately, we were the first ones to think of it, the first ones to tie up exclusively, and therefore we have this relationship. Now, seeing this, the Ministry of Rural Development has invited us to say, can you do something similar? उनके 1,57,157 हैं. We have 243,000 outlets. Can you tie in with us also? So this is the kind of thought process that one has been reflecting. A little about Ashutosh. I don't think he's here yet. Just want to mention he himself is a Kisan ka beta.
There's some signal issue at Ashutosh's end, so he's not able to join for some reason.
Yeah, he's in Kamakhya. He's gone to do press. So just a little about Ashutosh. The team, I think Manoj and Chetan are here. They're an exceptional team. But primarily, Ashutosh is Kisan ka beta. He's kind of somebody who's always wanted to be, a Kisan himself, but family pressures put him into the professional corporate space. He was instrumental in building the CDSL system for Bombay Stock Exchange, and then went on to work at Reliance Capital for many years, built out Reliance Commodities, and him and the team, Manoj and Chetan who are here, have handled and built from zero, from scratch, a 50,000 crore book, right? So he was the CEO, the head of Reliance Commodities, and basically ran this entire operation, built it from scratch, used digital, technology to create a zero loss environment. So they've done really, really well for themselves with a 50,000 crore book of physicals, a kind of global network that they've created. So where are we now? Ashutosh has joined. Great. So where are we now? Where are we now is we're doing this raise. I'm sure Apurva Bhai can share a lot of details with you on that. But a part of this raise is very exciting because there's a $4 billion listed company in Saudi Arabia. And that company has come on board as they're a large family backing them, one of the top families of Saudi, has come on board to invest in this round and at the same time build Agribid Saudi Arabia, because Saudi alone has an $18 billion import for food security program every year, of which all the categories that we cater to are already about 11 billion already that we cater to today. So today the smarter mousetrap, the smarter thought process for Saudi, instead of what people have done in the past, go invest in Africa, buy land, build infrastructure. It's a very long churn. At the same time, there's a issue with local politics, right? People who've taken the money for the land, they've spent that money or lost that money, come back and said, this is my land, this is the land that my ancestors grew lived on, so give this land back to me. So those kind of conflicts are being created by that kind of thought process. And here we are telling them, no need for putting up any capex. You determine what seed, what fertilizer, what method, what produce you want finally. You determine that, you finance all the input. The farmer puts in the effort, energy, and space, which he's got. Zero conflict zone. And you have an offtake agreement. So everything is locked in place, everything is insured. And that seems to be the smarter mousetrap in terms of the food security program. So today, Saudi, we're already in. And we are talking right now to Abu Dhabi Corporation, AD Corp, which is the largest player in the space. We've had multiple rounds of conversation with CEO, CFO, and they do about 4,000 crores a year of buying just for their 53 outlets across the UAE. They are looking at making a strategic investment. They're also a listed entity. They're listed on the UAE Stock Exchange. So these are the kind of relationships that we're already building. And it's a very, very exciting time for an organization like this. It's very, very empowering. I feel that you can create massive social impact, change the lives of 15 crore farmers. That's maybe 60, 70 crore Indians out of the 1.3, 1.4 billion that we are. And think the whole system, the whole ecosystem that we're able to provide end to end without any burn is something exceptional that not many people have seen or been able to achieve. And that's why we're getting such a fantastic reaction from organizations. So today, PwC is partnered with us on a program. KPMG has vetted us right now, just recently for the Saudis. And everybody has just fantastic things to say. They're amazed at the model, the simplicity of it, but the smartness of it, and the fact that we've created such entry barriers that if somebody else wants to jump into this, it will take them time. It will take them a lot of time to be able to penetrate the way we have. So I think that's the pitch. I'd hand it back over to you, Apurva.
Yeah. So since Ashutosh has also joined, we, from the macro part, it's time for us to move to the micro part, and Ashutosh will give the brief of the platform per se, and a little more in depth about Agribid. Ashutosh, if you can.
Yeah, I think Nick has mentioned all good things about us. Just to sum it up, we started in Jan 2021 with few options, and we have the in-house technology. The best thing is that we own our own source code. And as mentioned by Vivek, now we have partnered with the Big Four Global, that EY have officially become partnered with us, apart from the World Bank. So Manoj, if you'll run through the structure presentation. Apurva, do you want us to run through the structure presentation?
Yeah, that would help, yes. Yeah, that would help. There is a screen sharing right available with you, Manoj, so you can do that.
Yeah. I'll take that, yeah.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
So I'll just run through it quickly. We are a digital marketplace where we are aiming to bring equality in the marketplace, get fair price to our farmers transparently. As Vivek mentioned, there's a lot of opaqueness as of now, so we're trying to get rid of that. We four are the co-founders, myself, Ashutosh, Chetan, and Vivek. We three all are ex-Reliance, we have, I think the background was given. We have been trading into agricultural commodities for the past 15, 20 years. And that's how we know in and out of the market, as well as have inroads with a lot of corporate buyers as well. So the problems and solutions has been discussed, but just to point it out, mandi taxes, no access to fair market prices, and lower land holding doesn't give them the economies of scale to the farmers. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to give them mandi prices on their mobile, and trying to provide them with a auction platform where if they list something for 20 rupees, they might end up getting 20.50 or 20.75, 21 if they are lucky. And economies of scale we are achieving by aggregating them. And like for example, one 2 acre land would yield 1 or 2 metric ton of crop. So that doesn't entice a big buyer or an interstate buyer, because he needs at least 1 truckload for it to be logistically viable. So example, 1 truckload starts with 10, but still to optimize cost, the buyer would want 20 metric tons. So we try to aggregate 10 farmers with 2 metric ton each, and then supply that goods to interstate or a bigger buyer. So that's how the prices that the farmer realizes is a little higher than what if he would have sold to a local aggregator or a small whoever is going to the mandi. They just say ki mera bhi leke jao aur bech ke de do. So change the disruption we are bringing is at the farm gate level. That's the problem and solutions we are doing right now. So yeah, the model is a little dynamic. It's not only based on aggregating farmers and selling their produce. We'll also help traders to sell their produce on our platform. We are helping agricultural department, national agricultural department. So NAFED is one of them. So like that, there are many more state level departments. So government buys crops for MSP, and then when their storages are full and the next season arrives, they have to sell it. So they need help of e-auction platforms. So we are empaneling ourselves with a few agencies whose overall offtake would be roughly around 1.5 lakh crores a year. So we are aiming a pie of 5% or, on the lower side. But we are optimistic we would do 10-20%, but 5% on the lower side will still give us a good 5,000-7,000 crores worth of volume every year just by these government agencies. And we are also having a unique proposition for banks. So banks actually give out loans for warehouse receipt financing. So it is against collateral of agricultural commodities stored in a warehouse. So what happens is when an NP happens, the commodity is already a year minimum old or maybe more than that, 3 or 4 year old. And since it's a perishable commodity, mostly they do not have a ready reckon price for that. They'll have today's mandi price, but that commodity would not fetch today's mandi price. So they are at the mercy of cartels. Whoever comes and says, "Ki main itne mein kharid lunga," they dispose of their NPS at that level. But we went to the banks and said, "Ki use our auction platform. You be able to discover a price for that commodity and get a fairer price." So we've done a live auction for IDBI Bank where they were getting 2.5 rupees for their paddy, which was almost 4-5 years old. The paddy was in Kerala, Palakkad region. They got a price of 9.5 rupees per kg, which was a huge jump for them. So they were quite happy with this, and we tried and pitched the model to Axis Bank, ICICI Bank. All are happy and willing to engage with us. So this has been our journey. We started in Jan 21. As I mentioned, we did the first auction for IDBI Bank. Then we joined hands with the Tribal Board of Maharashtra, where this department procures from the tribals of Maharashtra, and then when the department has to sell, they use our platform. AP Markfed is another government agency of Andhra Pradesh, which procures from the farmers and uses our platform to sell. India Post, we tied up, we started with Gujarat in October 21, and we've eventually moved on to more states, but it'll slowly and gradually increase to all the states of India. Mavim is a Mahila Arthik Vikas Mahamandal based out of Maharashtra. It's supported by the government of Maharashtra. It's a self-help group of 15 lakh women farmers, and we are helping them sell their produce. We've even taken them to Dubai Expo and got MOU signed with 3 of our offshore clients. So helping farmers to link better market linkages. And then we got this Himachal Pradesh and World Bank grant in March 2021, which was curated by PwC. And here again, we are providing market linkages to the apple growers of Himachal. A few awards and recognitions. We were lucky enough. We are actually proud that we got recognized by this in the 12th Aegis Grumble Awards. We were recognized as Innovative Startup of the Year, which is actually backed by Skill India and National Informatics Center and the Ministry of Electronics. Then we got an Asia Pacific Stevie Awards. This was for the Asia Pacific region. We received for innovation and innovative startup. And this is one Business Excellence Summit where we received Startup of the Year award. This is the grant letter which we received from Himachal Pradesh Department and World Bank. We have a few partners like ENY has recently partnered with us. So ENY is working closely with the state governments in almost 6 to 7 states, where they are in touch with almost 1 crore farmers. So now they want to give marketplace to these farmers. So they thought, why reinvent the wheel and why not join hands with someone who is already in the market and doing some good work. So we have signed the MOU with them, and wherever the next they pitch to, if they go to a new state, they will pitch Agribid along. So this has been a very good development for us, and it is one of the latest developments which just happened 2 weeks back. So we are working with government departments, we are working with banks, we are working with self-help groups, we are working with warehousing companies. This is one of the leading warehouse companies, Go Green Warehouses. So we have tied up with them. So they have almost 2.5 lakh metric tons stored across India. So we are giving access to their traders as well. You can either come on my platform and buy or sell your produce. So we are also going global. We have started dollar revenues this year. Though the trades were like out of Vietnam to UAE, kind of nothing originated or coming into India. It was country to country trades. We've earned some decent commission there. So using our clientele of our previous assignments, we were able to reach global market so fast. So the total agri market where we are targeting is almost 6,700 lakh metric tons, out of which we feel we can service 67 lakh metric tons, and we will definitely achieve that in the coming times. The target group is huge, 150 million farmers. Hopefully, we'll touch a decent amount of people there. So road ahead, we want to work with a lot of FPOs. Farmer producer organizations are a group of 300 to 1,000 farmers coming together and forming a committee or a society. So they are registered as a company at times or as a society. So we have already enrolled 300 FPOs, and they in turn help us connect to a larger farmer base. And as I think somebody had in fact mentioned in the Q&A, how are you assuring quality? So we are whenever we want to have goods of a specific quality, we go through FPOs and we ask FPOs to ensure the quality and take responsibility of the quality, because a farmer will never be able to assure a quality or do the sorting and grading. So that will be done on FPO level. So that is our aim, to be in all states. Right now we are at 300 FPOs, go up to 9,000 FPOs, and do 6,000 crore worth of trades by FY25 and have 1 crore farmer families. I think that will happen by FY24 itself, but still we are keeping a lower target for ourselves. So this is how we do our engagement. This was Corona times when we couldn't get an auditorium or something. So specifically we put these pictures up. We didn't stop. We went there. कोई स्कूल बंद था उसके बाहर, we got space, we called the farmers there. कोई temple था उसके बाहर, we could call the farmers, we held meetings there. And this was all through India Post and some through FPOs. So wherever we could go, we went there, we explained the benefits of coming online or coming through a platform. So the response has been good, and this is how we do it. We've got ISO certification. We've got 9,000 as well as 27,001 startup recognition certificate. We have a STQC is one of it takes 6 to 8 months to get that certification, because for any government, if you want to deal with the government and empanel as a vendor, this is one of their core requirements. So we were able to get that as well. So you can call it entry barrier, but we have done that. So for others, it will be a difficult thing, and I don't think any other startup has this certificate as well. So that was a quick round from me. Over to Ashutosh.
Just what Manoj has mentioned, that last year our target was GMV. We have taken internal target was of 50 crores. We have achieved almost 80 crores because that was the first year operation. This year, though we bootstrap company, though we have signed term sheet with 3 global players, due diligence is going on. One due diligence is being curated by KPMG, other is by PwC, which Vivek has already mentioned. So I think due diligence will be done by mid-Jan or something. We'll start receiving funds. But the target that we have taken for the year is almost 400 crore plus. Once we'll raise the fund in the last April itself, though we have gone late on the fundraising because we are more focused on the business side. I'm very happy to share with you that in December itself we have achieved almost 480 odd crore rupees worth of GMV. which means 2.4 crore of revenues in actual terms. And we are the only startup who's making profit month on month basis, because we don't believe in cash fund. For cash is for Lakshmi, for us kind of thing. So every single penny that we invest, we ensure that it brings output of at least a rupee or so every single penny. That's what our motto there. And second, that we decide we are the among the first startup. Though other startup, I don't want to name them, they have raised billions of dollars. Somebody has raised $150 billion, somebody is at $1.5 billion, but they are unable to reach to the offshore locations. We are very fortunate that we are present in 8 global locations with the help of Vivek and a few other good friends of ours, and we have started decent revenue. So I'm expecting we already almost 10% of revenue comes from the offshore business. I think next year at least we'll have 20% from the offshore business and 70% from the Indian business. As mentioned by Manoj, we are tapping all state governments as well as central government. NAFED itself has a balance sheet of 40,000 crore, FCI is 80,000 crore, NCCF and few state government. They put together have a 1.5 to 2 lakh worth of business they do every year. If even conservative we were 5% of that 2 lakh crore of 2 lakh crore business, we are talking about 10,000 crore of actual business next year. So next year we'll have a phenomenal jump, because last year we were focused on mono technology tie up with the FPOs and farmers. This year focus was to do proof of concept with the state government and central government. So all the big state government, Madhya Pradesh government has approved us. Maharashtra government already started working. Andhra government we already started working. NAFED we got a technical approval. NAFED and CCF and FCA we got technical approval. So next year we'll have top line of 2 lakh crores worth of business going through our platform. And if we fulfill 5% of that, that's a 10,000 crore business we are aiming for. So that's what I would like to sum up, and we are open for taking any queries if you have.
Sure. Thank you, Ashutosh. Thank you, Manoj, and thank you, Vivek, for giving us macro as well as micro perspectives. Now, the first question is, and I think it's getting repeated, that how different it is from eChopal.
eChopal, ITC eChopal is just focused on a very specific area and more focused towards the wheat, because or one or two commodities which normally they procure. We are basically online. We are like Amazon marketplace for each and everything. Currently, we are just helping farmer to sell their output, but in future we are planning to help each and everything that touches the farmer's life. For example, right from quality of soil, okay, and then input, seed, pesticide, fertilizer, then farm equipments, insurance, anything and everything that touches the farmer's life will become like Amazon. So everything will be listed on platform. We won't be doing anything of our own. For example, if I write seed and pesticide, we'll have Monsanto, Syngenta, UPLs of the world. If I talk about farm equipment, we'll have the best of farm equipment. Insurance company will have. So we'll just become marketplace for each and everything. So whosoever wishes to buy or sell anything that touches their life, maybe seed or insurance or farm equipments, it will be listed on platform. So we'll just remain marketplace of that. We already started tying up with a few warehouse companies. For example, we have already tied up with the second largest warehouse company in India. That is a Agribid. They are based out of Gujarat. So what we'll be doing, they are bringing almost 2 lakh metric ton they store across 22,000 odd locations. So we are just connecting those dots. We are going to the all pickies and asking them to use our platform. So it will help them and help us also, because whatever volumes they will bring, for example, whatever top 100 corporates are working with the Go Green, so they are storing there. So they don't have to take out their goods out of the storage and then they look for some seller. So they can direct right at the warehouse location itself, where quantity and commodity is sorted and graded kind of thing, they'll be able to sell it. So they'll fetch better price. So it's win-win for all the ecosystem. That's what we are working into. So that's how we are different from ITC Chopala. Somebody has mentioned the India Mart, and others also have seen that. Yeah, I'll just give you some perspective. For example, the biggest in our sector is Udan. They have raised almost $1.5 billion. It's a $4 billion company now. It's still making loss of 2005 crore in this year balance sheet. So what we are doing in totality of 100%, right from the farmer to World Bank, Udan is just working in a space of 2 or 5% of the actual volume which we are doing at this point of time. What they are doing, they are discounting the locations next retail stores wherever you're buying commodity. So if they can get this kind of valuation on just working on 2% of what exactly we are doing, you can think of the valuation next 1 or 2 years that we'll be getting, since we'll be involved in the whole ecosystem. So likes of the Amazon will get the valuation, because we are the only player who's working right from the small and marginal farmer, and the reach which Vivek has mentioned, the reach and We have a lot of entry barriers. For example, we have exclusive tie-up with the Postal Department of India. We have exclusive tie-up with the Skill Development Department of India and Rural Development Department. Rural Development Department head by Girirajji, they have 2.5 lakh odd locations. So these 2.5 odd lakh locations will be available to Agribid to train farmers because they have the best of the connectivity thanks to Reliance Jio, and they have the projector and everything. So I don't have to spend a single penny. The beauty of Agribid model is that we don't spend a single penny on opening our own offices. As mentioned by Vivek, we have almost 1,57,000 locations available to us through these post offices. So all these post offices in future will become e-mandi. So that's what the objective of formula. So farmers should be able to sell next door kind of thing. So we are bringing that change, we are bringing that revolution next door level, because every village this e-mandi or the India Post is present. So every India Post will become e-mandi. That postal department guy is working free of cost for me because they also want to reach to the last mile approach kind of thing. So that's what we're doing. Rural Development Department, 2.5 lakh locations we represent to us, and the Skill Development Department is impaneling us to bring the best practices that is being implemented in Israel's or UK or USA of the world. So they are asking Agribid to enrich farmer with the knowledge, what kind of seed, pesticide, fertilizer they should use to, so their productivity will be double next year. Our Prime Minister vision is to double the farm income, and we have complemented, or we have done a lot of work. So I think Vivek must have mentioned that we have already increased the farmers' income by 32.87% now, and it's every day it's growing kind of thing. So we saw that in next, say example, 3 or 6 months, at least farmers' income will be enriched by 45 to 50% kind of thing. One, the economies of scale will increase at our end.
Right. Thank you. And it is very important to note here that the contracts that you are having are the exclusive contracts with Ministry of Skill Development and Rural Development.
Yeah. All contracts you have signed exclusive, and just to share that ENY is a global player, Big Four. It's a very big name. They have signed exclusive contract with us, not only India, global level. So whatever they'll be doing in agri side, they'll be doing through us. They already have 4,000 FPOs in panel with them. They do business worth of almost around 7,000 odd crore rupees. So every single penny that they are bringing or doing, everything will be done through man, and 50% will be sharing with ENY. Sharing 50% with a giant like ENY is a big thing for us. So if 7,000 volume next year comes to our platform, so anyone is bringing, say example, 0.5% kind of thing, and we are sharing 50% is a big thing for us. So that's the beauty of our model. So we are being appreciated right from ENY, PwC, or World Banks of the world. World Bank is planning to give us another project also, because we have successfully implemented the first project in Himachal Pradesh. So they are looking to partner with us on India scale. They are looking forward to on the small countries like Nepal, Bangladesh. They want to implement sourcing from where it is source kind of blockchain. They are looking forward to work with us on the blockchain concept also. So we are working separately on that. So we'll be among the first blockchain. So anything that grows from, for example, and Kashmir, and if you have a barcode, if you just want to check which farmer has produced, whether it has been pure organic or not, pesticide residuals or not, so everything can be found out just scanning the barcode, and everything can be there on blockchain. We'll have the first CIBIL of the blockchain, where any farmer that is committing to us, whether he'll be supplying or appear supplying, if he's defaulting, anything and everything will be listed on platform. So tomorrow it became CIBIL. CIBIL have its own valuation kind of thing. I'm talking about the regular CIBIL. So we'll be giving rating to the farmers also and to corporates also. For example, if somebody like Ninja Card or Wake Cool or Reliance Fresh is buying something from our end, and if you're delaying the payment, so everything will be listed on that. So anybody can go and check what is the credential of that particular buyer or supplier kind of thing. So will become CIBIL of the industry, not only India, globally, because no one is doing that project. So these are the few first projects that we are doing in India across globe.
Right. There was also a question that do you do geotagging where you when you export the agri produce?
Yeah, we do if it's required by the particular country's norms. We do that, especially in case of Apple. We are doing that.
All right. Thanks. Can you give me a demo of your website?
Yeah, Manoj. We'll just take your website, and anyone, one of you can download it, and we have present in both Android and iOS, so you can download and go seamless. When we have run the first, we are very surprised and want to share. We run a contest kind of thing where we have tried to survey 30,000 farmers. We thought 40 or 50% farmers may have a smartphone. That was our perception while sitting at Bombay or Delhi. But I'm surprised that 99.99% people have smartphones and they have access to the data card. And out of this 30,000 farmers, you'll be surprised that almost 2,000 farmers have Apple mobiles also. We are surprised, and they have the MacBooks also. So that's why we started developing on this App Store also, Google App Stores. Earlier we just have developed Android, so we have developed for them. Manoj, please.
Manoj, the only thing is we will have to be brief because of there are questions are quite few and we have paucity of time. So just give a quick glance of how the platform looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. This is how the platform looks like. We have mandi prices here, so anyone can go there and check the mandi prices. Can check along with the states. FPOs can come and register here. We have a marketplace where we have live upcoming and closed auctions. So here you can see whatever has been listed, and buyers can come and bid. And you need to log in, and then you can actually list your options as well. If you want to sell any commodity, you can come and list here as well. So we have kept it very simple, and that's how it works. This is the core function of the website, and the same is available on app, both iOS and.
Manoj, just share the link in the chat box so people can download and have a look.
Yes.
I'm just going through the question on the session. If approved, if approved, we'll just answer those queries.
Yes, please.
Somebody has mentioned that which regions we are strong in. We have started with Maharashtra. Currently, we are present in 11 states in India and 8 offshore locations. We'll be present in all 30 states in by March end. Browser, we are present in both Android and iOS. See, we don't charge. Akash ji has mentioned that we don't charge farmer. We just charge corporate. The other side, whosoever is the buyer, we just charge 0.5% to them. Crop to crop volume, we will be able to share on a one-to-one basis kind of thing, or we'll share with the Finolution or index reader. They will share with you. We have almost 3,005 buyers. Because of the lineage that I have, I used to be CEO of Reliance Commodity for almost 12 years. I'm being an aggregator from BHU, one of the most reputed agri institution in India. So we know all the corporate buyers in India and globally, maybe Cargill, Glencore, Solams of the world. We did trade with them in our past stint. In the current stint also, we are empaneled almost all biggies, since at this point of time, we are trying to have the small and marginal farmer, so their commodities are not very sorted and graded kind of thing. So we are not going to these biggies, but after March, once we'll raise the fund, we'll go to all these biggies, and we have separate specialized desks for them. Revenue contribution, India and global is 10% global, because we have just started 6 months back, the global one, but we expect 30% it will go up next year. Input will move on the next financial year. April will move to the input. Margin of profits, Jamin has asked, margin of profit, we are not charging margin, because we have ensured that farmers earn 32% more. We have not charged a single penny. We just charge 0.5% from the corporate. Whole purpose of Parag has asked for fundraise. Fundraise, we want to expand our team. We want to expand to the global locations, and we want to invest in IT. Plus, we are planning to have our own separate NBFC also, because we found out there's a lot of difficulties. While bigger corporates, for example, Reliance, Adani's or Ninja Cards of the world buy, they pay once the goods reaches to their place. So farmers have to wait for 10 or 15 days, which most of the time farmers are not comfortable. So we are raising fund for investing in our own employees, having the commodity specialist, global location, and NBFC, so we can fund at the farm gate and take it to the next level. Naresh has asked us clarify on valuation. How the investment will be made up on the start. As far as the valuation is concerned, Naresh, we have been valued by very reputed merchant bankers, SEBI category 1 merchant banker. They have valued us, and now 3 people have issued the term sheet to us. Okay, 2 of them are global players based out of Dubai. One discussion is going on with the US player. So valuation has already been fixed and has been vetted by one of the most reputed merchant banker in India. Jamin has asked what will be the reject if a goods sold on Agribid platform. Jamin, we ensure is a platform, whatever 99% of our sale is as is where is basis. So there's no risk of rejection of platform. When it's loaded and sold, you cannot take it back kind of thing. Kaushik ji asked for primary revenue drivers and margin of several verticals. So currently we are just earning almost 95% from our output sales because we are just helping farmer to sell their output. But in future, whenever we will enter into input side of it, we expect that because input seed pesticide fertilizer, if I'll talk about, we earn or the brokerage is almost 8% to 40% kind of thing. So we expect we'll pass on all the benefits of the farmer 25 or 30%. We'll just charge 5%. So Kaushik, in future, a revenue will be around 20% from the all other ancillary services and 80% from the outputs itself. Shoaib Wapiji was asked us plant strategy at the time of natural calamity and risk analysis. During even Corona pandemic, this agri industry was growing and booming because at the end of the day, we all have to eat. So there's no say option for it. So even during the natural calamity or like Corona's days, agri industry is not impacted. Kushi has asked whether it's similar to Trich. No, it's very different from Trich. Mumuku Desai, they have asked for longevity of the business. What is the risk? So dealing with the risk, state and FPO department, there's no risk because they are looking for a lot of transparency because that's the vision of our current government, keeping transparency. That's what we are doing. So all state governments also willing to participate in this transparency, fairness, because at the end of the day, it's just to share within the solution whom we are serving at the end of the day. We need to understand farmers are the actual the vote bank of any politician of the government. So we are helping farmer to enrich their value. So in fact, all politicians or the state governments are after us. Because why don't you come to our state and start this project kind of thing? So we are at short sort of human resource at this point of time. That's why we're raising fund. For example, India Post, they are asking us why only 4 states, why not coming to all 30 states at one go? So if every state I have to deploy 8 or 10 manpower, which we don't have being a bootstrap company, we just started raising funds. So once we'll raise funds, we'll present in all locations. So that's what. So there's no risk of the government, state government departments, businesses, which Munmuki Desai has asked.
Ashutosh, I think will restrict to 3 more questions now.
Okay.
So randomly and basis the priority pickup, just 3 more questions, and then we would want Vivek to do the final summarization of this.
Shilpanji has asked, for example, we are involved in a lot of area activities. So we are becoming like Amazon, not we are just marketplace. Say even if I'm helping seed pesticide fertilizer, I'm a marketplace. Top 10 guys of seed pesticide fertilizer listed on commodity. So we'll be able to do that. For example, Shilpanji, we are just 16 or 24 members, people at this point of time, and we're doing a volume almost 500 crores touching now. So mostly it's a technology driven. So I think we'll be able to sail through and do good in future also. Bharatji has asked, yeah, definitely agree. Insurance, crop insurance, valuation. I think. Yeah, Khyati, please.
So, how many languages is this platform available in?
Currently, we are available in 1 language. I think 3 more languages will be up and running next week. By March, we'll have all 22 languages, state regional languages.
Okay. Yes, because that could be important for this segment that we are talking about.
Very true, sir. In fact, we'll have voice to test also. Suppose I'm calling some guy talking to Malayali with me, I don't understand, but it will convert into text. Okay, so that also technologically very, very strong. Since just to share with us, we do provide technology to the few say industry players like banks and everything in one of the assignments that I handle. And I myself a blockchain expert, global blockchain expert also. So we understand technology very closely.
Right.
That's why we have passed through all ISO and studio certification. So we are sure of we'll be very different from the world of all the startups that coming into age this point of time.
Right. If you can give us the idea about the present valuation and the next round that you are planning to raise, that will be very helpful.
We have raised pre-seed. We have raised almost 20 crores, which was open only for the employees or the people who are working with us. Currently, we have been valued $60 million now. Term sheets have already been signed, which we have already shared with Finolution, Finobol, and India Accelerator. So $60 million, 47 crore valuation has already been freezed. We have started receiving the dollar participation also. One of the first people who have signed is the Hoven International LP. They are very reputed fund, $1.5 billion fund. So they have committed $500,000 to us, and they have already sent $2 lakh, and just $3 lakh, I think, coming next week, kind of thing. So valuation has already been fixed at $60 million, 27 crore precisely. And it's being fixed by the merchant banker. We don't have any. So Hoven has hired one of the merchant banker, and other people have hired, and they have valued us at this level.
So I think, Ashutosh, yes, you gave despite your connectivity issues and you were traveling, you could, rope yourself in at the right time and summarize everything well from your end. Thank you very much for this. Let's go back to Vivek again for him to do the final capsule summary of this entire stuff. And, before we end, Vivek, over to you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody giving their time, sticking around. Thank you, Apurva, and the entire team at IA also to set this whole thing up. I think one thing that you would have realized after listening to Ashutosh and the team and myself, that the one big X factor that we have is the passion that ignites us. We are actually physically on the ground doing work for farmers. The potential for this company is truly infinite. The political blessing, bureaucratic cooperation that we are seeing across the spectrum is amazing. I was hit by the Prime Minister of Nepal, and he has requested to bring Agribid into Nepal to do this whole spectrum. The Prime Minister of Mauritius has asked us to bring Agribid into Mauritius to do Africa and do something similar with them, because they already have some serious amount of financing, about $2 billion set aside just for this, for the improvement of growth in Africa, farm exports. So the potential is limitless in terms of what we do. A lot of people were asking about the risks. I think the fact is that you are a platform, you are a marketplace that is trying to de-risk or educate the buyer and the seller as much as you can. But at the end of the day, the risk is not yours. When we built FinanceSphere, it was the same story. We didn't take any of the risk on ourselves. Today, we have 12,000 schools, colleges, and universities on one side. We have 35 lakh students on the other side, right? And we've been able to build a huge book. That success story in just 3.5 years has been on the same principle of not taking that degree of risk, right? And therefore, we as a platform are de-risked. We are a predominantly technology company that is understanding how to link the digital world with the physical world and create the first major phygital play in agriculture. And when the e-Mandi platforms are set up, there's going to be exponential growth. Even though I don't have a commitment yet, I have a clarity from IFC right at the top level that they love this idea, they love the company, they would like to participate in the next round. We're already in conversation with them. So the way I see this is exponential growth from the $60 million valuation, which will close now very soon. I'm pretty sure that the company will go over 200 to $300 million valuation within this financial year. This is my personal opinion, my thought process, considering all the deals that we've tied in and the processes that we've tied in. And like a lot of people mentioned up there, things like, downselling insurance, selling, so many other possibilities as products once you have them as your market. See, the idea is that because of the fact that we don't charge farmers anything, we push maximum benefits to the farmers, there is a lot of stickiness. There's a lot of stickiness to the platform. And therefore, once you have that loyalty, the ability to get rewarded for that loyalty is very, very high across segments, across businesses. So this is the whole thought process on Agribid. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation and looking forward to seeing your involvement.
And
thank you, Vivek. Ashish.
Sorry about just jumping in. Vivek,
yes, please.
So much. I just had one question, Vivek bhai. We are absolutely. Am I audible, Apur?
Yes,
you're
audible.
Yeah.
So Vivek bhai, we are an agriculture economy. While we are transforming digitally and all of that, but we still don't have a single unicorn in agri-tech. You see this becoming one, and when?
Sir, I answered that query, sir.
I don't want to. Go ahead.
Yeah, please go.
Go ahead.
So I think without disrespecting any other company, I think a lot of the companies are smart deals. They're smart deals right now in terms of trying to make a quick buck. But the kind of effort that agriculture in agriculture space that Agribid has done to go down to the roots, right? जड़ से ही जो है फल निकलता है. हमारी तो सोच यही है. The kind of effort that we have put to go down to the roots to understand the pain points of farmers, understand the pain point across the supply chain. I think we may not be a unicorn. I pray that eventually we'll be a decacorn.
Oh, wow. So India Accelerator and Finmol, they don't have a unicorn in their stable yet, right? And we'll all work together to absolutely make this into one. It's always a pleasure to hear your thoughts, Vivek.
If you listen to Ashutosh and through his enthusiasm, he'll probably tell you that this is much sooner than you can expect, because the numbers that we're seeing in the forecasts are really, really inspiring.
Ashish bhai, I gave you simple logic. As example, next year, almost 2 lakh crore worth of business will be coming on our platform. Okay, being a bootstrap company, when you can overachieve a target, you can think of when we have the funds, and the Saudi, which has mentioned, Saudi will be signing example food security program, which is almost $10 billion. The current procurement cost is 22%, means they are paying $2.2 billion to the people who they are procuring to. We bring that procurement cost to almost 0.5%. That's what model is. But we'll be negotiating with them, and they're also agreeing that they'll be paying 7% of that. If I talk about, say example, $10 billion worth of business next 25 years and 7% earning. The day we'll sign, next day will become the unicorn status. We'll have the unicorn status. Second thing, the FCI, NAFED, and NCCF of the world, we are talking about almost 2 lakh crore business in India itself. Even if I'll be able to fulfill just 5%, which is very conservative estimate, though Maharashtra and Andhra, whatever we have done along with our competition, we have fulfilled more than 30% of the business. When we competed with our partner, other peers actually, even 5% of 2 lakh crore business brings 10,000 crore of volume. I'm just talking about the India, apart from the regular volume which we are doing. Even if we'll get 1:1, say valuation also, we'll become 10,000 crore of company by the next, say example, April onward, that volume is starting with. So once we are signing all this exclusive and we are signing all exclusive deals, most of these players that I'm talking about. So very soon, what Vivek has mentioned, instead of unicorn, you'll have on your table a decacorn.
All praying for it, man. All over to you, please.
Yes, thank you very much. The entire team for taking this time out and explaining it so decently. And thanks all of you, to all the investors, the prospective investors and wealth managers who stayed till the end to sort of listen to this. We'll connect with